Hello and welcome to Dels Gaming. I'm Del, and before you now is Kerbal Space Program. And this is a game I've been looking at for a little while now, doing various elements and trying it out. And had a few problems with recording, but that's been resolved. So now I'd like to just post up a few game excerpts. So first things first, there is some people out there on YouTube, etc., who really know this game well, and I'd advise if you to have a look at some of theirs as well. I'm playing this as very much as a default game player, as if you were starting it and just downloading and going through the game, so you can see what to expect. I've only added a few. One of the big parts about this game is mods. Very similar to Minecraft, how that's done. It's all about the mods. I've put no real big game-changing mods into this game yet, as such. I've added a particular couple of mods which we'll go through at some point. One is just to add a little bit of ambience, called chatter, which just puts some Kerbal chatter you'll hear in the background for fun, and a Kerbal engineer, which will basically show us some of the settings, and it's easier to create some of the vehicles. There is a Kerbal Redux which does give us an autopilot for later on, but they're not game-changing add-ons or mods. They're not something making it really easy. So this is fairly much, apart from that, how you would get it out of if you've just bought it on Steam. So what we're going to do is start a new game, and we're doing it running career mode. So it's Dels Gaming, and it's going to be in career mode, which means we have to, and running at difficulty means we've got to manage all of the money and other parts of the game, and we're going to find out how this goes along as I go along. I'm not an expert at this, so it should be fun. If you're playing this for the first time, go through the tutorials, find out what all of these centres are, and etc. So here we are. Here's the Kerbal Space Centre, for want of a better word, where we'll be launching all of our ships from. And you've got various buildings, so we'll say thanks, I've got it from the tutorial. So if you want to find out, we can hover over a building, and then you can right click, and it tells you this is the vehicle assembly. This is where most of our ships will be built that are being launched from the launch pad over here. So rocketry. We've got the space plane hangar where we create planes that can be launched from the runway. You've got a few other places, such as the astronaut complex, where we can go and hire extra astronauts if we want to. That's the flagpole. Yes, it's a flagpole. That's what it is. And let's see, what have we got here? We've got what's other important buildings. Here we have the research and development, which is very important. This is where we put our science, which we'll go through to allow us to look up extra items. We will have also got the whoops, there we go, we've got into the tracking station, which shows us Earth orbit and anything we might have around orbit if we put space stations up, or satellites, or just where our actual items are each time. So we can go look at that. Let's see where we are. Go back to Kerbin, and we have over here the mission control. This is the first place we're going to go to now.
Aha!
Hilarious, yeah. So this is where we take effectively contracts, where we earn money and reputation. Reputation will be useful later. There's two ones. One is the active and available. Active are ones which we can go for now, and some of these are automatic, such as these first three, and they'll increase as they go up. So we have to set an altitude record of 3,500. So if we get a ship to 3,500, we will get some money and reputation. Simple as that. Same for 5,000, a little bit more money and reputation. Set a speed record. Money and reputation. Now these ones will generally increase, so once we got to 5,000 we'll get another one. Once we get to 1,500 there'll be a new speed record. Now, and as we go through there'll be various extra classifications for us to go for in here. The available ones are, these are ones we have to manually select. Now you'll see that some of them, they have an expiry time, so if we don't get them done within a certain amount of time, we will lose them. So our first one is launch a vessel. So this is what we're going to do today, is just get a vessel launched. So just prove we can do this. So if we accept that contract, thank you. We'll go back to that. So we're going to do this with a rocket. Let's see if, and we'll go into the vehicle assembly building. You can just double click on the buildings, you don't have to right click and then select enter. Okay, so this is where we put things together for the game. And basically, I have got Kerbal Engineer, but basically along this left hand side are all the parts we can use. Now we're going to start with a command pod, because we have to have somewhere for our little guy to sit. And there's his little hatch that he will be able to do. So if we can toggle the talk, enabled. No, we can't open the door, unfortunately. Never mind. Let's click somewhere else, right click anywhere else on the screen, takes it off. So what we're going to need, we've got the command module, we don't have any fuel tanks, we have a basic engine, so let's put one of these basic engines in there. So you can look down either by hovering over the item, it tells you its crash tolerance, 7 meters a second, how much thrust it gets, that's the ASL, and how much solid fuel there is, 100. Now with the Kerbal Engineer, what I can do is it tells me immediately I've got two parts, the cost of it, the mass is 2040, the thrust is 192 kilotons, and we can get a number of, we're going to get 5.7 seconds of burn out of this vehicle on that stage. If we select any one stage, you can see that it removes it from the engineer. So we can see what we're going to get from all of these items. It gives us a little bit of area. Now we can have this to all stages or individual stages. Now we're going to just have this, very simple. Now a couple of bits we're going to need, no command and control, won't have structures. We will need a parachute. You don't want to, let's get that into the centre. There we go. And we'll put some atmospheric controls on here. We'll put them on this thruster. Now one thing here is if we click down in the bottom left, we can say have it not isometrically, but automatically add multiple fins on at the same time. So we're going to put that in just there. So that way it puts 4 equally around the object. So we've got ourselves a nice little rocket there. Now I will add some science onto this. So we're going to put a goo canister. Unselect the symmetry. There we go. And I'll put some flight recorder. Basically it's going to record some of our travels. Now I'm putting this the Kerbal Engineering. I haven't worked out how all of these work actually, but these allow us to do more info. Basically, I think run the processes, so we'll find out how they all interact. But we've added this to our first little craft. What should we call it? Let's just give it a name. Go up here. Let's call it the Exploder 1. Because that's a very safe name for them. So we'll save that. Now we're going to go and launch. So it's taken our ship now out to the launch area. All those items cost money. So we have got money invested in those items. Right, so we're now at the launch area. A very simple launch area we have. It's just basically a hole in the ground. So our aim is to get as high as possible and as fast as possible. Now, one thing we didn't do is create some stages, because at the moment, as soon as I hit the spacebar, it's going to deploy the parachute and the rocket at the same time. So let's put the rocket in stage 1. and then have the parachute as the final stage. Now, a couple of other things I want to do is I want to enable the stabilization system. That should help to make sure we go straight up rather than going in any other directions. Now, and we can change the throttle to go maximum or half. Now, let's just see how we get with a half throttle at the moment. We're going to do a couple of missions here just to get the idea of everything. So at half throttle, are we ready for launch? You ready for launch? Sorry, that was the thing. Go! We'll let it continue for a bit to get as high as possible. Our vertical speed, we did get over 150 meters a second, I believe. I didn't see the maximum. Right, we're coming down. We'll deploy the parachute. I would deployed it a little early. That's holding us nicely upward. Excellent. Now, one thing we can do when as we're coming down is observe our mystery goo, and when that's going down, we can record data, and that's going to give us 7 science points. So we'll keep that data, and we'll reset it. There we go. And we can also crew report, and keep that data. And that gives us another 3.5 science. So it's important to get all of these reports done. Okay. Are we going to survive? 7. He's still going a bit fast. 12, 7, 6, 6, 7. We might just all land properly. Might get an explosion with the thruster. And we can have a look at the crew report. Oh, we landed properly. That's good. So, excellent. That was a good little thing. Now, our choices here, we could go EVA, but without a ladder, our guy's just done a full strut on the floor. So that's not good. So we can now recover our vessel, which basically will recover all of that data and our pilot back to the space center. So we've done quite well here. We did a crew report while flying over Kerbal shores. That gave us 3.5 science. We survived the flight, so that gave us 5 science as well. Might have to have a look at the mystery goo. I think we could have got a little bit more with the mystery goo, but we'll see how that works for us. We recovered just about all the parts, so that gave us a good refund. Obviously not the solid fuel that got used, and our crewman came back and gained some XP, which is always good for him. So next, excellent. So that's now been recovered and is waiting for use again, and we increased our money 45k. Now what we can now go and see, because we had that we only run that at half power, so let's just see what that did to some of the items here. So yes, we did archives. We managed to launch our first vessel. We got over 3.5 altitude, and we got 150. We actually got over the 300 meters a second. Excellent. So that now means, see, it's moved it up to 5,000, 7.5, and 450. So there are new targets, and availability will now be taking on the escape of the atmosphere. As such, we won't take that immediately, because we're going to look at a couple of other bits first before we start doing escaping the atmosphere. Although we might as well just take it now and done with it. There we go. Right, so we had that science, so we can now go to the research and development area and use our 9 science to get a little bit more on this tech tree. You can see it's quite a big tech tree here. So we can either go for engineering, which gives us a better cockpit. That's good. A science lab, which is also good. Communicatron, stack decoupler. Now, a stack decoupler is very handy, and that might be why I go for it. And basic rocketry, though, has some better engines. So I might go for that, and we'll just go for those better speed records and see if we can get a little bit more science. Because if we can get just half a nut point science, we can have both of these at the same time. So yeah, we'll just now go back to our station, our space hangar. So here's our Exploder 1, which was great. It's done a job as such. Now we want to just improve on it a little bit. So what other items have we got? We've now got more fuel tanks and better engines. So let's just expand on this then. But we haven't got a way of decoupling at the moment. So if we do add these in, now we've got choice. We can just go for a better solid booster. So if I put that there instead, whoops, let's not put it there. Take that one off, and we're just going to go for a flight with the bigger booster as a simplistic flight. Now, one problem here is we have to check. This could be a one-way mission, in that this is obviously a lot heavier. The mass is 4,000 kilos, and without actually being able to decouple, we could end up with this stage not being able to come off properly. So I am a little worried about that. So let's go for somewhere in between. Now what we'll do is we'll put a fuel pod in there, and we're going to put a liquid fueled booster in there instead. So that's only giving us 2,000, and we're going to see if we can get better power and see if we can get a better launch just by having a fuel. Now we've got 6.8 seconds at 200 thrust rather than 179. So let's just see how that works. That's going to be Imploder 2. We'll save that. Go for our launch. We only need to get a little bit of flight data and science, and then we can put a decoupler in. So this is just a quick way to get our decoupler working. There is also one other quick way we can do it. If we just do this, observe our mystery goo now. Free science. Keep data. Okay. We'll also do our crew report. Crew report. Keep data. Okay, so we've got those before we even launch. So we've got a little bit of science, even as long as we recover. So I forgot to do this again, putting them into separate items. Now we're going to go for a full throttle, enable the stabilization, and off we go. Let's see how high and fast we get. Oh dearie me, that's not good. We didn't put any fins on here, and we lost stabilization. Let's turn the right way up. That way hopefully we will land safely and it won't implode as it crashes. So what I've got there was fins. I didn't put any stabilization on the system. Parachute has deployed. Did we slow down enough? It's still going very fast, very fast. 8, 4. No, we lost that. But did we recover? Recover vessel. So that wasn't as successful a mission as the first one. Hey ho, that happens. But we got another 9 science, well 5 science. We've got 1.5 for the crew report, the mystery goo from the launch pad, and recovery of the vessel. So that gave us some extra points. Unfortunately, the oxidizer was down, and we didn't really get much of the liquid fuel. And let's see, the fuel tank was okay. Where's the engine? Parachute, okay. Flight unit, okay. Okay, so it hasn't given us anything for the item that got blown up. But so we got 2,700 back for item, and oh, we didn't get any game XP. Okay, but that should mean now if we go hit back to our R&D, we've now got 9.8. We can research this as well. So okay, what would we need for the next stage? So the next stage is our rocketry, even bigger engines. Still a low crash tolerance on all of these. You see there's 7 meters a second. Stability, aerodynamic nose cone, which better temperature and a better crash tolerance. Small nose cone, yeah. Better winglets, which obviously would give us better. Oh, that's actually a lifting service. So this would be able to make a plane, and a radial decoupler, which means we can put things on the side. And survivability. Let's see, a small structure here with an integrated fairing. Okay, that's a heat shield for the bottom of the vehicle. A small landing leg designed for space probes. Okay, it's still got better crash tolerance, 10 meters a second. So okay, that's a potential. And okay, so a better parachute by the looks of it. Crash tolerance 2, and a service bay. Okay, so there's a few bits. We might, survivability seems like a good one with the landing legs and the extra side mounted. So we've got a choice in some ways. Do we go up the rocket path, or do we go up the aircraft path? They're both ways to try and get into space. I think we're going to take the Von Braun idea and head for rocketry first, I think. We'll go up to rocketry and then we'll look at aerospace later on, once we've got basically into space, so to speak. So, okay. So let's just see what these has given us. And see if we can make a slightly better craft to head towards that higher speed and the which was higher speed and higher altitude. That's what we're going for at the moment. So we're going to need to let's do a new vessel. Now we've got this pod which can a lot better crash tolerance, but I think we're okay at the moment with our little lander. Now what we might do though is a semi-disposable part, just to see if we can really push the envelope a little bit. With a 2-stage, we're going to have let's see, I'm just looking at what we have. We'll have a stack decoupler there. We are going to need our command pod so we can come down. We'll put our standard. Oh, we actually got a science pod there. I'm tempted by that. That will give us extra science, but we won't worry about that for the moment. We'll put our goo on here, and we'll put our flight recorder with his bit there. I don't think we'll need a radio. So we'll go with that there. That's for landing back again when we come down, and then with the rest of it is going to be fairly much a disposable. Now we've got a choice here. We can either go for the solid rocket system, which I think we might go for. So we're going to go for a dual solid rocket. So that's going to be there, and we're going to need some fins to be able to control this bugger. Otherwise it's all going to go to pot, so we're going to go 4-way. How much can they take as a crash? They can't take crash landing, so when this goes, they're going to come down. So, okay, we're just going to put them into this stage. So once we have launched this final stage, basically we will have none of us left. And we will put one more decoupler. Where are we? Decoupler. Let's put another one here. And then we're going to put another stage down below. And let's see if it will allow us a four-way on the bottom. Like that. Okay, now what we're going to do as far as so this is a bit brutal, but let's see how this works. Now we're going to have to create some stages here. So we've got first stage is igniting, it's done some of this already. First stage is igniting these four here. Then it will, once that fuels up, we'll decouple them. Then we're igniting this stage. Then decoupling there, and actually we need to put another stage on here. We need to decouple, and then finally we will be deploying the parachute. So this is Exploder 3 saved. So let's see how this very simple rocket does. See how high we can get with this little so-and-so, shall we? So we're going for a speed and altitude here. No, nothing more. We're just aiming high. So we should be on the pad. There we are. So these are solid propellants, so we're just going to go for maximum speed. We're going to use RCS is no use. We're going to turn on stabilization. Now once we're up and we've deployed gone to our height, we'll deploy the goo, etc. on this vessel. Right, so number one. Are we ready, Mr. Kerbal? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adjusting that. Not wanting to go upwards. Get rid of that and just shoot. This could be bad. This could be very bad. Come on, deploy. Finally. Oh. Only just got out of there. We'll observe with that. Store the data. And we'll do a crew report. So that wasn't too good. It went decidedly out of control. That one. But we did land safely, which is something. So we'll recover our vessel, and we'll have to try again later. So, as you can see, not quite as simple. It can go very wrong if you start going a little bit too much, but we did get 10.6 science, so we're up to 15 science, which is great. But I think we're a little early yet. We need to do some more testing before we can start suggesting about flying. So we'll crew report while flying over Kerbin's grasslands, which is good. And mystery goo while we were flying was another 7. So you can see that it's always good to have the goo running. And we recovered, which got us a little bit more. We got some funds back from that. Did cost us because obviously we lost all of the solid propellants. So, oh, we've got some debris over here. That's the Exploder 3 debris. Okay, we will recover those. You might find that there's some jets and other items around sometimes from various items that have been recovered or exploded from various times. I've noticed them before. If you forget to recover your vehicle, you'll see it out there still. So, okay, this is the starting point. What I will do is I'll save again there. We'll come back and work on the solid rocket booster just to try and get it a little bit higher and a little bit faster, and see if we can get close to a design which will help us stably, he says, get up into space. So hopefully you enjoyed this and want to see a little bit more. Please leave any comments down below. Click that like button and add me to the favourites and subscribe so you can find out when the next one comes up. But until next time, have fun.